Hey guys, and welcome back. And thank you to those of you who've been watching my videos on lucid dreaming. I've appreciated a lot of the comments I've received there. And today I wanted to tell you a little bit about this sort of embarrassing yet educational astral experience I had a couple years ago. And it happened a few years ago, but I immediately, woke up and wrote it down. So I'll be referring to these notes a bit. But I call it an astral experience because I didn't try to leave my body, but it felt like an astral projection. And it wasn't a lucid dream because I didn't know I was dreaming, but it felt a lot more real than the dream. So it feels like it's somewhere between an astral projection and a lucid dream. But in this experience, I found myself inside of an asteroid. It just looked like a cave to me at the time, like a lava tube. But I knew that it was an asteroid because when you're in the astral plane, you just kind of like know things on an intuitive level. No one really needs to tell you where you are or what's going on. You just can kind of like feel everything. So I feel I'm on this asteroid in this cave, and I'm crawling through the cave, and I get to this giant flower. And it's like a gigantic succulent. And the petals are 10 to 12 feet long. It's way bigger than me. And I'm crawling up through all the petals, trying to get to this golden light that's shining in from the top. Finally, when I get to the top, I see standing there the silhouette of this being. He's definitely male, and he's standing behind the flower with this gold light shining out of him or shining from behind him. It's hard to tell what's going on. And I can't really look at him because he's too bright. And he asks me three questions. He says, "What's your name?" So I tell him my name. And then he asks me, "What's your planet of origin?" So I tell him I'm from Earth. And then he asks me, "Are you a spiritual being?" And I, of course, said, "Yeah." You know. And he asks again, "For how long have you been a spiritual being?" And I said, "Oh, 3 or 4 years." And he just kind of laughs and goes, "Huh, 3 or 4 years, huh?" And I realized I'd given him a bad answer, or what I perceived at the time to be a bad answer. And I tried to like cover it up because I feel embarrassed now. And I say, "Oh, no, no, no! I know I've always been a spiritual being. It's just I didn't remember until 3 or 4 years ago when I drank ayahuasca and it showed me everything." And he says, "Oh, well, what's everything?" And immediately in my mind's eye, I can see very clearly the planet Earth from space. And I realize, oh man, Earth is really small. It's smaller than most of the other planets. It's sure as hell smaller than the sun. And the sun's not even a very big star. And we're in a tiny solar system in a galaxy that's not even that special, really. There's so many galaxies. And I realized, like, just looking at this Earth, like, that's everything, like, that's what I think is everything. And I'm showing it to this giant, uh, ancient astral entity and feeling ridiculous about it now. And I still feel like I can recover. So I say, "Oh, well, it showed me that I was never really born and I'll never really die. And heaven is on earth for anyone who can just let go and accept that. It's always been here. The Garden of Eden has always been here for anyone who can see it. And all you need is love and forgiveness, and uh, everything comes from the source, and to one day everything will return to the source, and everything that happens in between is just God or the Great Spirit or the source, whatever you want to call it, basically interacting with itself through all of us who are manifestations of this giant one whole complete being." And now I'm feeling like, okay, whew, like I definitely recovered from my ridiculous human, uh, you know, what do you say, my fragile, like little human frame of reference for where I exist in the universe. And I'm kind of expecting him to, like, accept me now and feel like I've won his favor. And I'm just kind of waiting for him to say something. And then he never says anything. He just teleports me out of there. And now I'm standing on a new planet and he's gone. And I know that he's the one who sent me to this new planet. And I intuitively know that I'm on Io, which is one of Jupiter's moons. And standing next to me is this new being now. Again, it's a male. And he just says to me, "You're not allowed on Io anymore." And immediately I felt afraid, because I don't know how to get back to Earth. I don't even really know where Io is. It's like a vague, it might as well be imaginary, it's so far away that the human mind can hardly even comprehend. And now I'm not even welcome here, and I have to find my way back to an Earth that I call home, and I can't even see or know where it is. So I'm trying not to panic, and I ask this guy, well, that's okay, I'll leave, but how do I get back home? And he just ignores me. So I know I can't stay, and I don't know how to get home. So I'm kind of like, here goes nothing, and I just kind of lift off the surface of the planet, and I just sort of feel my way back to where I think Earth should be in the solar system. And luckily, I get there, and I see Earth now. And I start coming in, hovering towards it, and I start moving faster and faster towards it, and I realize I have no control over the speed at which I'm, breaking back into the planet's atmosphere. I can only kind of control my flight path, left and right and up and down a little bit. And I need to land back in LA or I'm screwed, because I have no wallet and no cell phone, and I only speak English. So if I don't land on the exact city that I know, then I have to find a telephone and call my mom and have her wire me money and get on the plane, and I don't have my ID, so how can I get on the plane? So I'm kind of freaking out, and I don't see North America, and I'm coming in really fast, and I'm trying to get around to the other side of the planet to find North America, and I finally see it, and I'm like, okay, cool, now I gotta hit Southern California. I'm trying to adjust my course finally as I see LA. I'm like, oh shit, now I need to find my grandpa's house and land there. And luckily I managed to make it back, and I land in the city, but not where I was supposed to, but at least I'm in the city, so I'm not freaking out. I can take a bus home from here just with spare change. And then I woke up back in bed, and I realized the purpose of that experience and the lesson that it taught me was pretty funny. But it was, I'd been walking around for a couple of years now with that feeling of being like a manifestation of the divine, and feeling as if that was my true nature. And that is everything's true nature, of course. I still believe that, but it just really showed where I actually am as a flesh and blood limited being who speaks one language and relies on a cell phone and having a wallet to get everywhere. And I sure as hell can't exist out in space, let alone almost anywhere else on the planet, without running into serious problems. So to be kind of all like, oh, I'm this high-minded, spiritual, eternal being, apparently not.